Hi, I'm Psyker, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this hidden staircase design that I made. It is loosely based on a design by Tomco, though most of the redstone has been changed by me to make it easier to understand and build. As usual, the materials list will be in the description, in the pinned comment, and in the world download. And the world download will be in the description as well. The amount of space this takes up is 7 blocks long, 6 blocks wide, and 5 blocks below ground level. And it is completely flush. You can make it fit in at any part of a floor. And although you can use any secret input you like, at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing one with you that I particularly like. Basically, you quickly fill and unfill this stair with water, and the staircase opens up. And then you can fill and unfill with water, and it closes. The reason I like this method of hiding an input is because usually when I'm in survival, I'm carrying a water bucket around, because water buckets can be very useful, and it is very easy to hide a waterloggable stair at the bottom of a wall. So, without further ado, let's move on to the tutorial. To start things off, we're going to decide where we want the entrance to our staircase to be. The entrance is only 4 blocks long, so it will be fairly easy to hide it anywhere in your base where there is a 4-block straight stretch of ground. Around this entrance, you're going to dig a 7-block by 6-block hole, 5 blocks deep. Once you have your hole dug, we're going to place all the blocks that the redstone will sit on and interact with. We're going to come over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 4th block, place our first solid block. From there, we're going to make a sort of a T shape here, with a target block sitting up there just like that, a block there, and finally one right there. In the center, we're going to place a solid block right here. This block will be seen. It is part of the floor of the secret tunnel at the bottom of the stairs, so just make sure that it looks nice. Next to that, we're going to place 2 target blocks just like that, and then on the other side, we're going to place a 3x3 square of blocks just like that. Off the side of this square, we're going to make a small staircase of blocks just like that, and bring them over just like that. Once you have all these blocks placed, now it's time to actually start placing the redstone. To start with the redstone, we're going to place all the redstone dust. So you need 2 here, 2 here, and a line of dust snaking up all along this path just like this. Next, we're going to place our torches. You need a redstone torch on top of this target block, place on the side of this target block, and on top of this solid block right here. Next, we'll do our repeaters. You need a repeater here on 1 tick, one here on 3 ticks, one here on 1, and one here on 2 ticks, and finally one here on 1 tick. You need to place a comparator here. This will be taking the output from the T flip-flop, which will be deciding whether the door is open or closed. And finally, an observer right here. It needs to be observing this repeater and powering this one. Once all the redstone is in place, we're going to start putting in our pistons. With regular pistons, you're going to need 2 here and 1 right here. You'll notice that they're all powered immediately. These will be powered whenever the staircase is open. And then we need 1 here and here. Next, we need sticky pistons. You need 1 here and 1 here. You need 4 right here in a sort of square. And you need 2 right here in front of that square facing upwards. Once all the pistons are in place, feel free to place your stairs up the middle just like this. And then place the blocks that will be covering up the staircase all along this line of pistons. Once all that's in, now we're going to build our T flip-flop. This will decide whether the staircase is open or closed, and you can toggle it with a single power input, like a button or an observer flash. To start, you need a dropper facing up, facing into a dropper, which is facing sideways, into a dropper, which is facing down, which is facing into a hopper, pointing into the first dropper, just like this. On top of these droppers, you need to place a solid block. This will be seen as the wall of your secret passageway, with a button on that block. You need a redstone dust on top of this dropper right here, and you need an unstackable item inside this bottom right dropper. If you've built it right, this should close the staircase. To test if it will open and close normally, go ahead and press the button and wait for it to open, then press the button and wait for it to close. Once you've determined that this thing is working properly, now it's time to hide it by covering up all of the top area with floor. So just fill up whatever area needs to be covered to hide the contraption. It can have blocks all along the top but for demonstration purposes, I usually just like to place things just like that. Once you've covered up everything, you're going to want to open it and replace this block with an upside down staircase. This is just so you don't hit your head on the way down. Finally, you're going to build out your secret passageway. So just go ahead and build it out just like that. And you finally have a completed secret staircase. However, we're not quite done yet. You might have noticed that we can't currently open the staircase from the top. To open the staircase, you need to have any input that will put in a single pulse of redstone, like a button does. However, you can't exactly have a button out in the open, so you're going to want to use a secret input method. My personal favorite for this one is the water bucket method. First, you're going to take your redstone line over to whatever wall you're going to put this on, and you're going to feed redstone all the way to your input. You're going to have an observer pointing down into a solid block, and you're going to have a repeater on 4 ticks pointing into that redstone line. On top of the observer, you're going to place a stair block and surround it with solid blocks of your choice. Make sure you plug up the back here so water doesn't spill. As you can see, you can place this secret input anywhere you like in your base, and no one will be able to see it. To use this input, you're going to grab the water bucket that you should be carrying around all the time anyway, since water buckets are very useful for survival, and you're going to quickly fill and unfill that stair right there. That will toggle whether or not the stairway is open. And that's just about it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. That lets me know that I'm doing something right. If you want to leave feedback on this video, or if you have any ideas for future projects I can do, please leave a comment in the comments below. If you want to see more like this coming up in the future, subscribe. And until next time, this is Psyker, signing off.